Hello guys, I'm starting a new series on drag racing streets. If you haven't seen this game, I recommend, if you know a little bit about cars and the way they work, the physics behind them, it's a very good game. I spent a lot of time on this game just in the past week or two, and I've learned a lot. I don't know a whole bunch, but I do know how to get by in this game, and it is very hard to get anywhere in this game without knowing a whole lot. So I figured I could help anybody by making this series. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. As you can see, I don't have a whole lot of cash, or I have only a couple cars. I have 2 projects, and really none of them are worth looking at. Um, that's pretty much it. Okay, so to start off, um, the biggest thing to do in this game. Okay, so to start off, the hardest thing in this game is upgrading vehicles in order to make them actually quick. And so the biggest issue is you can max out everything here and not really have that fast of a car, or um, you put a turbo on it, make it lightweight, load, and put all these lightweight body parts in your car, and it still won't even be that fast. The best thing to save up for is a specific kind of tire. So how do we find the best type of tire? So just checking out rim options here. The best size to use is 13 and 14-inch rims. And the reason why I'll get to later, but mainly is because you can still have a small rim size, which is easier to spin, and a taller tire, which adds top speed compared to acceleration. So I'm just going to choose a rim real quick. And now to the tire. So if I scroll over a little bit, you will notice here that tires that are drag radials cost cash. If you go all the way over to the right, the reason the 13 and 14-inch rim is so good is because there you have a drag radial, and you can buy it for coins instead of cash, which is easier to obtain in the game. So this is only for the 13 and 14-inch trim that I'm aware of, and that is why they're the best. And it's a lot better of an option. Now, if you don't have the cash over here, you notice that there are the different sizes. So that was 155, 55. If we look over, there's also different sizes as you go up. So let's see. The last size tire is actually smaller, so that one's still the same size. If you notice there, so you have these taller tires, well, 175, 80s, and up, you can actually just see the size. It's better. So whereas in 13 inch rims, you don't have that same option. So okay guys, so on to the next point is suspension is also the most important. Of course, get the best size tire you can with the most grip. I'm gonna switch cars, just kind of figure out what's cheapest so I can pretty much apply a setup, or at least just show you one of my cheap ones. Yeah, that'll work, my prelude. So I think this is all. Yeah, as you can see, there's not even much stuff on here. It's actually a very cheap setup. As you can see, yeah, just 14-inch rims, the biggest tire I could get, 155 80s. Actually, that's not even the biggest type I could get, but still has 4.6 grip upgraded, so it was probably 3.5 regularly. But yeah, The most important thing now is to find the best coil, or sorry, the best spring and shock absorber, and we'll get more into it later. See, this RSS isn't even that expensive. For what, 3 grand, and you get 1.57 grip. Now, as you can tell, that's on the front. This is a front wheel drive car, so that's what's important as well. It's on the same axle, same as the shock absorber. It adds 2.86 for the one I have, the purple one. And this also adds adjustment and height to the suspension. Actually, I think that's the spring, but regardless, it's best to do both, as well as in the back, just because you can adjust the height. So let's go to tuning. Sorry, one more point that I had to make. Also, having the air ride, which is the bottom middle, is good as well. Oh, I know what I was talking about. I'm gonna wait. Okay guys, so the next important part is in the bottom middle, you see that there is the air ride. Just getting one in general is important. Okay, so I'll show you which one I have real quick. I think it's the second one. Yeah, because 40, 20. Yeah, I think I have the second one, so I don't even have an expensive one. So now that you have your suspension set up, go to dyno in the bottom right, and you can see the adjustments. So pretty much the struts are best at the maximum stiffness, and I just found that out over time. It's just because the car doesn't want to pivot and move around. That's pretty much the worst thing that you can have, because the body transitioning weight kind of just throws everything off. It takes more time for the engine to spool or rotate. Anyway, so as you can see, the shock absorber or springs, so the springs actually raise up the car. Now, if you see on my third setup, my air suspension set to 0 and it goes higher, whereas in the setup I use, I can lower the air suspension and still turn up the springs. Now, why is this important? It's because, as you can see, that movement that's there won't happen because your springs will be stiffer, and having a stiffer spring with a lower car means that your car is not going to move as much just because that spring's holding more pressure. It's pretty much the same for the back and the front. There isn't that big of a difference by stiffening the back or the front. If you have a rear-wheel drive car, it's actually the same way. You may be able to loosen the front a little bit just so you get that little bit of front body roll, but most of the time, all-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, doesn't matter. It's just important that you lower your air suspension and tighten up your springs so that the car doesn't have to move a whole ton. And that's pretty much what I found works the best. Also, I use the test button as well. Okay, so back to the point I was making. If you notice when I raise the front, you can actually see the front of the car when it bounces back. It goes before the back end. The back end seems tighter. So when you're adjusting your suspension, just take that into account. Just make sure it's not so low that it's dragging on the ground. So pretty much that's it. There's not much more to it than that. Also, tire pressure, since now that you have a tire setup, the best setup that I found is 1.75. So let me go ahead and get that up here. I didn't even have it set up on this just because it's not even that fast, but 1.75 is the best I've found, kind of messing around for grip to acceleration, because a higher tire pressure can go faster but doesn't grip as much, whereas a lower tire pressure grips more, but you can't reach a top speed as easy. So yeah, that's what I found best on this, as all of my cars actually have the same setup. And that's pretty much it. Okay guys, so quick break, came back just to double check, make sure everything was working. So blueprints, this is the last thing that you need to do in order to make your car have maximum grip, speed, acceleration, anything that you can get for this video. So go into your blueprints and you'll notice here, actually, if you go into yours, you'll see like 5 blueprint cost or 10 or 20. This is pretty maxed out. So let's go to my other car. Let's go to my other Prelude. There we go. Okay, so pretty much what you want to do is for the axle, or sorry, for the tire that is driving the car, if it's all-wheel drive, then front and back, or front-wheel drive, just the front, or rear for the rear, you want to upgrade that one side. Now, if you bought the same parts for both sides, then you're obviously not going to know which is which, and you're just going to have to kind of upgrade one thing, go back into your car, and then pretty much see, hold on, and pretty much see the new rates. Let's say I upgrade my tire, this is 4.6, and I go to my other tire, and this is 3 road grip, by the way, that's what I'm looking at. Then when I go into my blueprints and I upgraded one of them, I'll see in here 3.2, so 3 grip, and then the other one is 4.9, so that's what it upgrades. I know which tires for the front, so I was upgrading accordingly to which tire was getting power from the engine. That way that tire is going to have the grip because it's going to spin. So pretty much the best way to do it is to go by that size of the tire, do the springs, the struts, the air ride, that's important too. It just takes off weight. The tires, and yeah. The other thing is it also works for your lightweight parts. So for your body panels, this little icon here indicates weight reduction. This icon, wow, it's not being easy with me. Okay, so this icon is grip. Same as this icon, this is grip as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Anyways, now let's say I run out of blueprints, so I'll just go to a car that requires a whole crud ton in order to get the upgrade done. See, 10,000, there we go. So that's my drag slicks. Yeah, let's say I don't have enough. I'm just gonna click go when it says I don't. Go up here to blueprints. Hold on. And then all these blueprints that you have, you're gonna select all and sell them. And I know you're gonna think, why would I sell them when I have them? And it's just mainly because I've saved up a whole ton of my blueprints and actually barely had any of them actually work for the car to where I could use them for an upgrade. So anyways, every time I get blueprints, I end up having to sell them. So they usually don't work. And yeah, so anyways, I end up selling all them. And as you can see, I could probably upgrade my drag radials, but at the same time, 10,000 coins for a 20% success chance, I could spend on better things. So yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. That's the last upgrade you can do. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you do like videos like this, maybe hit that subscribe button, and that way I can be, influenced to provide future content. And yeah, like I said, I hope you enjoy the video. Have a good day, guys.